Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, please consider subscribing. My name is Yadi and I create educational videos for beauty professionals in training and for those who like to continue learning. You guys, welcome to another video. I hope you are doing good. Welcome. Now, I don't know how you stumbled upon this video, but if you are new and you are thinking about going to esthetician school, you're considering, you don't know exactly what to expect, or if you're an ST student, which more than likely you may be if you're watching this video, it's not too late to make some changes just in case you're in school. I'm excited for this video because I feel like, this information needs to be out there, and I'm sure it is, but you guys just know that I spend no time looking at what other people are posting, but more so what I think about, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I want to talk about it, or people ask me, so here we are. So this video is about thinking about going to esthetician school, what to expect, and how to succeed. So now with that being said, it's no secret that I teach aesthetics and I work with esthetician students in helping them obtain a license. Now, it's also no secret that I am in the state of Texas, and as you know, like having an esthetician license, you can be an esthetician in every state, and so different rules and regulations do apply to every state, right? Some of them may be very similar, but all in all, each state has their own rules and regulations. So be sure that you're doing that research also. Now, I have a whole list of things that I want to cover. Now, nowhere in this video will I be talking about a specific school, a specific, maybe even just state, or a specific person or anything like that. These are all slides and information of things that you should consider and be on the lookout for when you're doing your research, or you are trying to explore the option of what is being an esthetician is even about, okay? Because I feel like many go into the field or in the industry not really knowing or understanding what they're getting themselves into. And so I hope that this information more so brings clarity to those who are unsure, okay? Or it gives them a place of where they should start doing their research, right? So I hope you find the information helpful. If you feel the need to share it with someone, then do so. If you have any questions and I can help you, then obviously leave me a comment or send me an email, glamandbeyondinfo.com. But by any means, this is just research or things that I personally know. But remember that every place, every school, every state may be slightly different. But anyways, you guys, so here we go. Number one, research what estheticians in your state are allowed to do within the scope of practice. That's definitely number one for a reason, okay? So you guys, like I said earlier, each state has different laws regulating estheticians, and their allowed services can vary. Knowing what's permitted in your state ensures you won't invest in training for treatments you're not legally allowed to perform. Understanding your boundaries early helps you stay compliant with state regulations. Each state has a set number of training school hours you must complete along with state board testing. Absolutely. There are many people, I'm just gonna say people, okay, meaning maybe a prospective student, may think that by them being an esthetician, becoming an esthetician, they're allowed to do certain things that they probably are not allowed to do, okay? Which is why it says to be sure that you are researching what your state is regulating for estheticians to be allowed to do under their scope of practice, meaning with the license that you will be obtaining, right? So that's important, you guys. Okay. Explore additional certifications and set realistic career expectations. If you want to perform certain treatments, you guys, like laser hair removal, advanced chemical peels, or cosmetic injections, you may need certifications, additional certifications, be a registered nurse, or have a medical director. So researching in advance can help your career path can help you plan your career path accordingly so you will not be disappointed. That is an absolute must. So if you're finding yourself wanting to become an esthetician, but what you solely want to do is injectables like Botox, fillers, for example, then you may need to reconsider if that is even needed, right? You may want to maybe do nursing school, or depending on your state, do you maybe only need to go through certification process and then having a medical director oversee your practice, and then that's all you need to be compliant with the state. So again, these are things that you watching need to research based on your state. I'm not here to give any type of legal advice or anything like that. I'm just here to put out information so you can go do additional research, because every state is different. And also, knowing what you know now based on what I'm telling you, even consider if this is even something you want to do, right? Because it's not for everyone, you guys. That's why I'm making this video. But again, doing all of that so you're not disappointed. You don't want to go through all these months of school to not be able to really do what you really wanted to do. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this is about. Next, number 3, you have made up your mind and you're going for it. Okay, you're going for it. What can you expect from esthetician school? So you decided, you know what? I love skincare. I love anything that's skin related. I want to help people out with their skin conditions and their concerns. Like skin, I'm passionate about it. I'm going for it. You're my type of girl, okay? You're my type of student. Like, I love someone who really finds themselves being passionate about something and giving their all. So what can you expect? Now, you guys, this is not a school curriculum. This is just information general that you can expect from a school. If you have a specific school in mind that you're researching, you need to be asking certain questions to those specific places. Ask what you'll be learning. Ask to speak to their esthetician instructor, I don't know, so that you can get better feedback as far as like the process of like the school process, right? And what all is included. So you need to ask the right questions, but here's a general idea of what you can expect, and I hope it helps. Expect theory and book work. I know. Some of you may not like that, but it is very much part of the process. You cannot skip steps, sister. Like you cannot skip steps, because all of this is connected. Everything is connected. So just know that yes, there's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of note taking, a lot of book work, a lot of tests. It's part of it, okay? Just because it's esthetician school, let's not undermine it. It's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and it's a lot more than what some people may expect, okay? If you're trying to learn the right way, okay? So what happens here? So you'll spend a good amount of time studying, you guys. There's so many things that need to be covered. You'll spend a good amount of time studying. So what will you be learning? Infection control is obviously at the top of my list. Infection control. We have chemistry, electricity, anatomy, your favorite. I'm just kidding. Anatomy, skin histology, diseases and disorders of the skin, skin analysis, you guys, skin ingredients, that's a big one, right? Facial treatments for different skin conditions, and that also includes learning about acne triggers and all of that. Facial massages, the use of different facial machines and modalities. So that may include LED, that may include high frequency, that may include microcurrent, that may include galvanic, microdermabrasion, all of that, right? Anything that has to do with machines and modalities, that's part of that. Hair removal, such as waxing. We have advanced treatments such as like chemical peels, chemical exfoliation, and different types of exfoliating options. Makeup application, how to do a proper makeup application. I shouldn't say proper, because what's proper? Proper is what you like, right? But you go over makeup application. Laws, rules, and regulations for your state, right? Again, I'm in Texas, and that's really big part of everything, all beauty courses in Texas, is knowing the laws, rules, and regulations for the state. So all of that is basically what is covered in an esthetician program. It may include a few other things, or it may include, less of some things. But here's the thing. Notice how waxing, hair removal is part of this list. Obviously, if you are in a state where you are required to be licensed to do waxing, you're either going to be required to have a cosmetology license or an esthetician license. They do not have a license only to wax. So just know that if you are going to go to an esthetician school, but you're more passionate only about hair removal, waxing, I'm sorry to tell you, but you will still be required to learn everything else that I just listed and that I just mentioned about skin, okay? Like, it's a huge, okay, part of aesthetics is understanding skin histology, understanding how the skin works, diseases and disorders of the skin. In order for you to do a proper skin analysis, you need to know about diseases and disorders of the skin. In order for you to know how ingredients work, you need to know how the skin works. You know, in order for you to be able to do protocols and follow proper treatments for different skin types and conditions, you need to be able to communicate with your client. You need to know what is it that, you know, they have concerns about, how you can better help them. Everything is connected, which is why you should not take your theory lightly or spend the least amount of time. No, you have to go through all of this in order for your practical skills be just as great. For the most part, all of the theory information that you'll be putting in here and all the knowledge that you'll be gaining is going to go towards that practical skills as well. Super important, you guys. I'm not saying that lightly, and I'm not just saying that because I actually teach estheticians, but just in general, like if you're doing this because you're super passionate and you want to be great at what you do, and like who doesn't, right? Like who doesn't want to be great at what they do? Like you guys just, and here's another thing, like every state has different amount of hours. Some states have 600-hour requirement. In Texas is 750. I know in some states it's like 1200 hours. I want to also inform you that some states offer what would be a master esthetician license. States like Washington, Utah, Virginia, District of Columbia, Nevada, Oregon, Minnesota offer master esthetician licenses. Now, these licenses would require the student to do 1200 hours of school versus 600 hours for a regular esthetician license. Texas does not have a master esthetician license. It also does not have a medical esthetician license. Just to clarify, the term medical esthetician is a term that most estheticians give themselves based on perhaps additional training they have done, plus additional certifications they've obtained, and also the type of workplace setting they are in. Some even go as low as 320, which that's like nothing. But hey, whatever, I don't make the rules. But again, 750 is kind of average, 600 is kind of average. But again, you're gonna take at least 6 to 7 months in school. Give it your all. Put all the things that are distracting and keeping you away from focusing in the back seat. Like put it in the back seat, girl. Like you do not need that kind of negativity in your life while you're trying to work on something for your future and to get you going. Definitely not. So start there, okay? Make sure that you have everything aligned before you start school so that you are distraction free. Expect quizzes, test, taking lots of notes, and learn a lot of terminology. You're going to be learning a lot of terminology. So you will get to know, or you probably already know, what type of student learner you are. So if you feel like you're the type that needs to write everything down, you're the type that needs to create flashcards, then do that from day one. Don't wait until you're like 4 months in school and then you're going to start being that learner. No, ma'am. You need to do that from the very beginning, you guys. Time goes by so fast when you're in esthetician school, just because it's not like so traditional. Of course, there's a lot of reading and writing and everything I just said, but it goes by quicker. Like it's fun school. I always like to say this is fun school, right? But you still want to be the best learner you can for yourself. What else do we have? Number 4, you can expect a lot of hands-on training. So you'll learn treatment room preparation, more than likely, of course, right? All things facials and different protocols, how to customize treatments for skin needs, so you'll be able to service everyone. You'll learn about extractions, proper ways of doing extractions, different types of exfoliation options like physical, chemical, mechanical, for example, how to perform a proper skin analysis. That's so important. Communicating with the client. Oh my goodness, like that's actually on my list at the end. I'll wait. How to properly use machine modalities like, again, microderm, LED therapy, high frequency, ultrasound, microcurrent, galvanic, all of that. You will learn full body and facial waxing. Some places, some states do allow for you to learn facials, back treatments, lash lift and tint, brow lamination and tint, like I said, makeup application, and client communication, so consultation. Expect to practice your customer service skills as they are just as important as your technical skills. Yes, and you cannot be shy. You cannot be shy or embarrassed, even if it means like role playing with other classmates. Remember, you guys, that practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement. And if you've never done any of this, which who goes into school already knowing everything, right? No one. And so you cannot be too hard on yourself, but you know, constant trying to practice is going to make improvement, and it's going to make you feel more comfortable, more confident, and it's going to help you relax when you're doing certain treatments, and that's going to show how you carry yourself. And many clients take a note of that, and so then they feel they can relax. Constantly work on your craft, because eventually it just clicks. It just clicks, all right? So when you're in school, you better be prepared to work on classmates. And you also want to start lining up models to help you with hands-on practice. You actually in school may have a specific number of models, clients you must complete prior to graduating, prior to finishing school. There's some programs that may require you to do at least 20 facials within the time frame of the program, and you'll get checked off for every treatment that you do. It may be that you're required to do X amount of hair removal services, for example. So obviously these are all things that I'm sure your school will tell you once you enroll and you go through orientation and all of that. I think a lot of times in schools, the hardest thing is students being able to find models, especially during the day, since people work during the day, obviously, and not everyone has a lot of free time to go in for services. You know, you can practice a lot on friends and family, people you may know. You do practice on classmates. The hands-on part is very important, you guys. I tell my personal students this. I can sit here and demonstrate and do a different facial treatment every hour on the hour, but what's the point of me doing and showing you if you're not practicing? You have to practice. Like, you have to practice, because it just doesn't feel the same. All right, you may be watching me do a treatment and you're like, I can do it, and you can, you will, but the minute you start doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's not as easy as Ms. Yadi is making it seem. Well, because I've been doing it a little bit longer than you, right? And so you have to get your hands dirty, you guys. You have to get in there and try to practice in treatment rooms so that your instructor can give you feedback, so that you become more comfortable, more confident, and you can ask questions, right? Definitely practice as much as possible. If your instructor's ever looking for a student to do a walk-in client, you know, you want to be like, I can do it, you know, volunteer yourself for things like that, especially if you haven't had as much hands-on practice due to you not finding a lot of models, which, trust me, like, I understand. I think that's a huge thing. It's like students not being able to find models many times. And so when you have walk-ins opportunities, always volunteer to be the one to take that service so that you can get some practice. Number 5. Okay, sanitation and stable. These are all things that you can expect. Let's not get this confused. These are all things that you can expect from the schools. So number 5, I have sanitation and stay board prep. It's not too early. It's not too early. Hygiene and sanitation are huge, you guys. Infection control practices starts with you. Along with learning everything a program has to offer, you will also be preparing and training for a state board practical test if your state has one. There are some states that do not have a hands-on practical test after graduation, but most states do. Okay, so state board practical prep from your school is 100% necessary. Okay, schools need to be preparing you for both written and practical state board exam for you to feel confident. And guess what though? It requires 100% of your commitment as a student to study and practice. So if the school is providing you with this, then it requires your part also in putting in the work, practicing and studying just as much so that you get that license, right? Most states have a theory state exam, which I mentioned, and a hands-on practical exam. Both are usually done after completing the required hours of training from a licensed school. So I'm just saying this because, again, I don't know who's watching this video, but if you're someone who's not currently in school, what this means is that once you enroll in school, the school that you choose to attend is where you go through the training, okay? That school is going to prepare you to pass both a written and a practical state exam, all right? Once you have completed the required hours from your state, you are then eligible to take both a written exam, pass, and then you become eligible to take the practical, which is the hands-on part, pass. Once you have passed both of those tests, then the state that you are in sends you your license. That's usually how it works, okay? But again, each state may be slightly different, so definitely do some research. Check out your state's cosmetology commission. Usually aesthetics is under cosmetology umbrella. Next, we have business and career prep. So some schools will teach you how to find a job and how to start your own business. If your school does offer this, you guys, take advantage of any career advice, marketing advice that may be given by your instructor. I personally do this for my personal students. This is what I always tell them. And if you're one of my students watching this, then you know that I'm not lying. I always tell the students, listen, the way that I go about teaching this program is I talk to you, I teach you as if one day you're going to open your own business. And I do that, you guys, because sometimes that type of guidance or to be given that type of information, not everyone's willing to be that person. Not everyone's willing to give out that information. I don't know why, it's so weird, but not everyone is. And so whatever I know, whatever information I know, no, I'm not like a huge business consultant or any of that, but whatever information I know, whatever I can give to my students, I give it to them. I'm very open to all of that because I always say we can all work for someone, right? We can all expect to have a schedule, be trained by an owner, and show up and perform our job duties and responsibilities. But to be able to open up shop, tell you what kind of licenses you need, and just go down this whole list, right, of things that you will need to open up your own business, marketing ideas. And I like to do that for my students. Like I've always had. And sometimes I feel like while students are in school, some may or may not like realize the kind of information that they're getting. But I always say, keep it, like write this down. You never know where you will need it. It may be a year from now. Like, let's say you graduate and you start working for someone, which is great, right? Who doesn't want to like build experience. But a year from now, 2 years from now, you may decide, hey, I want to open my own place. I want to open my own spa, my own suite, whatever the case may be. Then you have that information that I provided you with to do that, right? And so you have a starting point. I'm going back to that, having a reference starting point to keep guiding you and to keep doing additional research, you guys. And so whatever amount of info I'm able to provide, whether it's business, marketing, tips, whatever it may be, if it helps them in the future, a year from now, 7 months from now, then that makes me happy, right? And so that's super important for me. So if your school does that, then definitely take advantage of it and just, keep it here, right? Okay, number 7. Now let's talk about you, okay? So how to succeed in esthetician school. So we just went over some things that the school will more than likely be providing you with, information they will be helping you with. Now, let's talk about you. How can you succeed in esthetician school? So I have this quote literally like on the wall. Don't count the days, make the day count. Don't count the days, make the day count. That's like, you need to live by that, okay? So attendance, huge, huge. This is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself when being in esthetician school, is simply showing up. Showing up with great intentions, making the day count, and learn as much as possible. That's so important. Like, you have no idea. Lack of attendance leads to missed theory lessons, group discussions, missed demonstrations that many times cannot be redone in the same setting, missed hands-on practice opportunities, and missed hours, which can lead to a later graduation date and possibly additional cost. And you don't want that, right? You don't want to have to pay extras. That is big. Like, showing up for you is super important. When you miss a school day or a week worth of like training, that's huge. Like, you're missing so much, especially if you have an instructor that plans everything accordingly. You will be missing a lot of things that, like I said, it's sometimes very hard to catch up on in the same type of setting. So you guys, like, focus on your purpose and goals. Often remind yourself of why you started and find the motivation to keep going. This is something that I understand, and I like tell people this. Like, when you start something for yourself, like, you're like, okay, I'm going to school, I'm doing this for me, like, I've always wanted to do this, you know, and you start and you feel like everything else is falling apart around you, and you're like, why? You know, like, right when I start to do something for me, like, things go wrong, or like, you know, stuff happens, right? And it's very hard, and trust me, I get it. Like, I totally get it. But if this is something that you're truly passionate about, going back to me saying, like, put everything that brings negativity into your life in the back seat and try to stay focused. Find your purpose, remember your purpose, try to have even short-term goals. So what would be a short-term goal? A short-term goal could definitely be like, okay, I want to go over this chapter, I want to take notes, I want to retain this information that I'm reading, I want to have great attendance, I don't want to miss no days this month. Those are short-term goals, you know. And I wouldn't even say that going to esthetician school is a long-term goal, because most trainings are like under a year, and so you're looking at like 6 to 7 months, you know, which is not a whole lot. And like I said, time goes by extremely quickly, and so you want to stay focused. And I know sometimes it can be hard, okay? Again, do not get involved in negativity. Voice yourself respectfully when necessary. When you're in school, you are around obviously other people, other students, regardless of the age of anyone around you. Everyone's a student, if you know what I mean. And so you want to stay away from anything negative. You want to stay focused on you. Stay focused on you. One of the biggest things that I really like to tell my girls, like my students in general, is that we're not in competition, okay? We're not in competition with each other. We're not in competition. Like, I'm not in competition with you or you with me. Like, that sounds silly to say, but we're not. We uplift each other. We help each other. We give each other constructive criticism, because we're all here with the same purpose of trying to learn as much as possible and, you know, gain as much knowledge together and become licensed, you know. And after everyone graduates, many go their separate ways, many don't see each other after school, and or, you know, we cross paths at like conventions and seminars and things like that. But, you know, it's awesome to be around people that like-minded individuals like you, that are all about positivity and growth and wanting to become a better version of ourselves, right? And so that's the mentality that you need to go in with, so that make the best out of your time. You know, school will be what you make it, you guys. And so thinking in that way will make things so much easier for you, right? Just focus on you. Focus on you. Next will be stay organized. Oh, you're probably like, you think everything's important, because it is, okay? Like, all of this is so important, but staying organized and take lots of notes, okay? Keep a notebook or digital notes. I know many students use iPads, you know, laptops, or even like phones. Keep a notebook or digital notes for all subjects and topics, okay? This will help you review and study when it comes to testing. So definitely use flashcards if needed to help you memorize terms and skin conditions. I said that earlier. Next, I have keep up. You want to keep up. What do I mean by keeping up? You want to keep up by turning in all your required assignments, you guys. Tests, quizzes on, you know, turning all of these things in a timely manner. Your instructor may or may not give you a due date, so make sure that you're following up with that. Avoid falling behind on schoolwork. Falling behind leads you to making the effort to catch up, but not really retaining the information you should be learning. Should I read that again? I'll just let you read it. But yeah, when you fall behind so much that you're like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. And so you're trying to catch up, and you catch up, but you're all this information that you're catching up on, you're just doing it so quickly that you're not retaining it. And nothing's sticking. Okay, so avoid falling behind so that you don't have to spend any time trying to catch up. Does that make sense? So if you know, you know. Okay, and you guys, ask questions. Ask questions. Like, don't be shy. I always say this. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy or embarrassed, you know, to ask questions. And I only say this because I feel like some students are very shy, or they feel like, oh, you know, she might think that I should know this. No. Ask questions, okay? Ask questions. Asking or clarifying what is being said to help you understand. There's nothing wrong with you doing that. At least in my books, it's not. Like, ask me. Like, you know, I do teach, or try to teach to a point where I try to give you all that I can, so that it answers your questions if you have any. But don't be afraid to ask questions, you guys. Next slide says, get as much hands-on practice. Doing this builds confidence. I said this a little while ago. Volunteer to practice treatments as much as possible. Practice consultation, explaining treatments, product recommendation, and skin analysis with classmates. This will help you build confidence, for sure. Practice. Take sanitation seriously, like, okay, or your habits in school carry over into your professional career. So follow all infection control practices to keep yourself and your clients safe. Like, come on, you guys, like, that's a must, okay? Like, you cannot take infection control lightly. Like, you have to protect yourself and your clients at all times. Next, learn beyond the classroom. And if you're here, I can tell that you're already trying to do that. You're trying to learn beyond the classroom. So you should be able to graduate school, though, with a foundational understanding of aesthetics. That's really what most schools provide, a foundational understanding of aesthetics. Of course, many try to do more than just foundational, right? But you should at least graduate with a foundational understanding of aesthetics. But continuing education is an absolute must in our industry, okay? There will always be something new to learn. I call myself a forever learner. Like, I never feel like I know it all, or like, oh, this is enough, you know, I know enough. I never know enough. Like, we never know enough. We never know it all either. There's always something new to learn. It's always nice to learn from other people. You know, the more the better, because why not? We all do things slightly different with the same intentions, don't we? And nothing wrong with learning from as many people as possible. So you guys, attending trade shows, follow industry leaders that inspire you to be a better version of yourself in the industry. Okay, educate yourself by researching skin or wax related information that interests you or will elevate your career. If you're extremely passionate about waxing, like, research as much as possible related to what you're passionate about. You want to find out what the best wax is, what the best pre and post products are. If you're truly passionate about helping clients that have acne, become an acne specialist, find out what the best ingredients for acne are, right? Wink, wink. And so that's what I mean. So you want to really do deep dives into what you enjoy doing and what you love, right? And that's what I'm all about, honestly. Close to the finish line. What's next? So you're close to graduating, or maybe have already graduated. So what should you be doing? What should you consider doing? And that would be to work on a resume, you guys. Work on a resume. List your educations on your resume, any certifications that you have, and skills as well. Highlight customer service skills, even if they're from non-beauty related jobs. You still want to add that on there. Keep it professional, and one page is best. Next, I have a list of places you have interest in applying once you have become licensed. This is important also. So let's say you have about a month left in school. Definitely start doing some research. Again, build your resume and then go down a list of places that you are interested in applying, or so that you have a plan more so. If you're thinking about going solo right out of school, nothing wrong with that, okay? You just have to be sure to have done your research and you are ready to take on everything that being a solo esthetician business owner comes with, and have a plan. But anyways, you guys, if you're reading this and you're considering going to school, I hope you found the information helpful and it has helped you prepare in all ways possible, right? If you're currently in school, evaluate where you are at in your training. It's never too late to make some changes and become a better learner, student if needed. Make the time you have left count. So if you're in school and you feel like you have lacked, or you're lacking certain things, or you as a student can improve certain things, then, and if you have some time left, it's not too late to make some changes. It's not too late to get organized, to fix things, and to try to practice as much as possible. It's not too late to ask questions. So it's not too late, okay, in general. If you're still in school, like, it's not too late, right? You guys, that's it. I'm sure I left there so much more that I could say, but I don't think I should. But you guys, I'm excited for this information to be out there, and I'm sure that it will help at least one or two people. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, you guys, or if you want to send me an email, go ahead and do that, glamandbeyondinfo@gmail.com. But more importantly, thank you again for being here. Thank you for your continued support. Just know that it does not go unnoticed. And you guys, that's it. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Hey, by the way, if you found the video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your Esty bestie, or share it with someone who you may think could use this type of information. And again, consider subscribing. Find me on all social media platforms as Glam and Beyond. Now, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.